Good Wednesday morning, East Tennessee. My name is David Aldridge, Chief Meteorologist of Captain Accurate Weather, coming to you by way of the Captain Accurate Weather Command Center. Well, as expected, we've got some scattered rain showers this morning. It's not everywhere, but some of us may have a little bit of a windshield wiper action going on this morning as you head off to work or school. But take a look at the ultimate Doppler radar. A couple of showers in red, maybe more dominant or more steadier up there in parts of Scott County. Some yellow areas would suggest some moderate rain going on right now in parts of Scott County and maybe back toward Hancock County, but nothing so much in Knoxville yet, but it's starting to move into parts of Anderson County. You can see as we zoom in a little bit tighter, areas just south of Oneida, but centered around Huntsville. We've got a little downpour, perhaps in red, focused over here, over toward Elgin as well, and south of Huntsville. If we move slide toward the north and east, a couple of showers from Williamsburg, Kentucky. Now approaching places like Jellicoe, we have some light rain, it would appear, between Tazewell, New Tazewell, and Arthur, up toward Middlesboro, Bell County. And if you're in Sneedville, just south of Sneedville in Hancock County around Duck Creek, we've got a little shower there, also one around Kyles Ford. So we're looking at the rain as of this morning here on a Wednesday, the 24th of April. It is 6:41, a couple of showers around Bean Station, but it will gradually fill in. I have about a 40% chance of rain today. It'll characterize parts of the morning, and then it's going to move on, and that will be pretty much all that we see from this point. So it's not going to be an all-day situation. Scattered showers for the morning, then clouds to sunshine during the day today. As we've been talking about, the Ultimate Doppler Radar is presented by Madlock Tire Service and Auto Repair, East Tennessee's #1 tire service and auto repair since 1953. They've been doing this for over 70 years. And if you're in need of an oil change, maybe you need your tires rotated, maybe you need a great set of tires this spring, go no further than Madlock Tire Service Auto Repair. They're in Farragut, Knoxville. They're in Maryville. They've got a location in Lenoir City, and they're also located in Athens and McMinn County. You can also find them in West Knox County and Hardin Valley. Check out madlocktireservice.com. I have a link at the top of this post, and their addresses and phone numbers are on the screen. But I want to show you over the last 4 hours how this has kind of progressed, right? It's coming into the Jellicoe area from the west. We've had some showers roll through parts of the Tri-Cities in the last 30 minutes or so. But this is just a review of where things have been while many of us have been asleep, and it's now moved through parts of Crossville, back toward Jamestown, Fentress County, a little bit of ground clutter around the Morristown side initially, but that rain is beginning to fill in at this time. If you got a comment, let me know. I'm on both YouTube and Facebook this morning. It is Wednesday. Happy middle of the week. We've made it that far. Good morning, says Fred. He's got 62 degrees in Maryville. Thank you, Fred. Yeah, 62 at the airport. I think we're at 59 in Oak Ridge, so we're generally in the upper 50s to near 60 at this moment. Danny says, good morning, David. Hope you have a great day. Go Vols. Hashtag Go Big Orange. Glad to have Danny here. And if you're on YouTube, let me know. I'd love to give you a shout out. Let's say if you're on YouTube, you can be the first comment on this particular channel as well. And I'd love to magnify and amplify your voice. But this is just a review of the radar that many of you may not have noticed because we've been asleep. The head's been on the pillow over the last couple of hours. It is 6:43. My goal is to be done at the top of the hour. Got a lot to cover. In addition to the rain that's occurring now, you can see some fog concerns in gray, southern Illinois, western Kentucky. We may have a touch of fog tomorrow morning. Once this rain's gone out of here and we clear out tonight, skies will become mostly clear tonight. There will be maybe a hint of some fog, especially in some of the higher hills near the Smokies and foothills. But radar shows it's pretty quiet across much of the deep south. Further north, there's still some concerns for freezing temperatures. They got freeze warnings, it looks like, in parts of southern Michigan. Freeze warning in Michigan until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. So that's the 25th, but this just gives you a sample, and they have freeze watches there in parts of Wisconsin, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. So winter still holding on in some parts to the far north, and there's still some lightning thunder across the Midwest. Midwest will become the focal point for severe weather. We'll talk about that coming up here in a few moments. But as far as the rainfall, how much are we talking about today? It's really not going to be heavy. If it's more than 1/10 of an inch, well, you're kind of more the exception. There's some areas maybe more than 1/10 there along the Kentucky-Tennessee line, but Knoxville may pick up maybe 500-600 of an inch. That seems consistent with the data that I don't see much rain here today, but enough to need the umbrella. Certainly it wouldn't hurt to have it with you if it's in the car or it's with you in a book bag if you're heading to school, heading out to the parking lot. You're going to maybe need it this morning. Temperatures right now, as Fred mentioned, he's got 62. We got 62 at the airport, and we have 59 in Oak Ridge and Morristown, Talbot, Jeff City. 60 in Newport right now in Crossville. A shout out to Cumberland County. They're at 58 degrees this morning. Seymour, 62 or thereabouts, 58 in Maryville. It's 59 in Madisonville. Tellico Plains in Monroe County, 54 in Oneida, where they're getting some rain at this morning time frame. Visibility may be reduced a bit, but I think we may find some patches of fog tomorrow. The reduction of visibility today may be more of a function of the clouds and the rain that's trying to work its way through the area. So I'm looking at comments over my shoulder. If you've got something you want to share, let me know. I got another note from Felicia. She says, have a happy, great Wednesday. Good to see Felicia here. Let me know if you've got any big events going on in terms of outdoor craft shows. Felicia, always appreciate that update. Darlene Gray says, good morning, David. Thank you for your great work. Thank you, Darlene, for watching. By the way, I want to bring you up to speed. Yesterday, we hit 74. Well, what were you calling for, Captain? I was calling for 73. So if I'm within 1 to 3 degrees, I feel like I've done my good job, my due diligence. But again, 1 degree, it's like playing golf, right? Nobody expects to go play golf and score an 18 unless you're really good at putt-putt and you know how to navigate around the windmill. But most people who play regular golf don't expect to score an 18. So I don't expect to do that all the time. But I will say 74 was the high. We started off at 38. We had 2 mornings in the upper 30s, but that's now a thing of the past as we're still waking up this morning in the 50s. I believe we've been as low as 56 since last night. 74, the normal high, and the record high 93 from 1925. If you like context, the record low today is 28 from 1986. Obviously not that cold, but it has been in the 20s before in this part of the country, in this part of the world, back in 1986, 28 degrees. Now, as far as wind gusts, they're a little more noticeable in the Smokies. Those blue areas would suggest over 20 miles an hour, so it's a little breezy there, it looks like, even in Crossville. These are the current temperatures. If you're doing some traveling, you're getting out the door, you'll be surprised to find it's only in the 40s in Asheville around the Biltmore. And you've got low 60s here, low 50s in Jackson, Kentucky, and mid-60s in Jackson, Tennessee. Just depends on where you are. Depending on what Jackson you're in, it could be a big difference from 50s to 60s. We've got clouds on the horizon. You'll wake up this morning and you'll say, yeah, it's kind of gray. But it will get brighter once these rain showers work their way out of the picture. And they're going to slide in, slide out, pretty easy peasy. Most of this will be confined here in the morning hours. We've already talked about the amount of rain has been pretty small. Sunrise and sunset times are on your screen for Knoxville. 6:51. That's in 4 minutes from now. May not be as glorious of a sunrise as we've seen before just because of the rain, the clouds, but it will be much brighter. I do think, I fully expect that you'll enjoy the sunset tonight because it'll be a little clearer. And some of you were talking about the pink moon last night. Yeah, something Farmer's Almanac likes to talk about, the April full moon being pink. I guess all the flowers are in bloom, right? 58 at 10 for the bus stop forecast. 2 o'clock to 3:30, a prime time to pick up the kiddos from school. Should be in the upper 60s to low 70s. Here are my expectations for today as I check back with the comments. 73 in Oak Ridge. I expect 70 in Newport. And if we hit 74 in Athens, that would not surprise me. 70 in Jamestown, 70 for a high in Oneida. Those are my expected highs with some morning rain showers, then clouds to sunshine. I want to say good morning to you. It is Wednesday. Do you have any big plans this weekend? Let me know. I'd love to find out what you're doing or thinking this weekend because, hint, hint, it's going to turn really warm. Back into the 80s, my friend. Some of you are big fans of the 80s, and I don't mean like parachute pants and breakdance. I'm talking about like the 80s. Lionel Richie songs. Hello. Okay, anyway, Haley Gibson says good morning. She's got the cup of coffee. Marilyn Bell says amazing, beautiful day yesterday, and today as well. Enjoy. Thank you, Marilyn. Ed's on here. He says good morning, watching with coffee on the porch. Have a good day. Good to have Ed on here. And Janet saying she's got 59 degrees in Talbot, waiting for the rain. Thank you, Janet. May not amount to much in Talbot, but you might get a little bit of rain that might help the would-be garden if you're already planning that. Maybe you've already laid it all out now that we've moved past some of the coldest air of the season. It's now behind us. Those upper 30s the last 2 days were a bit of an abrupt start for sure. Headlines, we're talking about morning showers today, clouds of sunshine. Okay, then tomorrow, well, I was hoping for wall-to-wall sunshine. I still think it's bright sunshine, but there will likely be an increase of those high, thin clouds. Those high, thin cirrus clouds will be popular, especially for the second half of your Thursday, but it's still nice. We're in the mid-70s tomorrow. We'll call it mostly sunny on Thursday, and then some showers thanks to a warm front come riding into town on Friday. Something we'll be watching very closely. By the way, it's 6:49. I'm going to show you something I showed you yesterday, which isn't commonly talked about, but just how cold is it in late April, because today's the 24th of April. How cold is it up to the far north? You say, well, it's obvious. It's in the 30s in Minneapolis and Madison, Wisconsin. That's true, but if you're up here, they're in the 20s. If you're over here, they're in the 20s. And I think they're probably in the single digits. Come on. Really? Up in Canada? Yeah, some parts. Some parts, there's 9. I believe there's some negative numbers up here, too. Yeah, -6. That's some cold air, my friend. Some very cold air moving through parts of Canada. And they point this out because we talk about these temperatures at 5,000 feet. There's a 3, there's an 8. I know it seems cold. We don't live there. But it's amazing how cold it is relative to the season. Again, this is in fact late April, and they're going to still be getting some snow up in those areas. The purple areas correspond, and I talk about this all the time, of being representative of single-digit wind chills, highs in the teens and 20s. Look where that purple area goes. It heads back toward Montreal. It moves through Quebec. It moves into parts of New England, or it would appear through this middle part of this week. We get the modified chill, maybe at 5,000 feet from Ohio to Indiana, but then it starts to retreat. But I'll tell you what, Maine looks pretty cold to me for April 25th. That's some very cold air moving into town up there. Then the warm surge of air comes up from Dallas, comes up from Memphis. We'll have some warm air. We're back in the 80s this weekend. Woohoo! But then there's apparently some blue areas from Minneapolis to Chicago that may not show up late April for us, but I think there will be some cool spells, as my premium members know all too well, as we head into the month of May. And if April showers bring May flowers, what do May showers bring? There's a riddle. I don't know. I know the Mayflower brought the pilgrims, but I don't know about the May showers. What do May showers bring? That's a riddle, because I think there is a possibility that May could be pretty soggy. We'll talk about that on the premium side if you want to join us. By the way, snow potential. This is amazing. This is all new snow. It's looked like this in the Rockies since October, and they're still anticipating, 20 inches west of Denver? Maybe 13 inches north of Maine. A lot of snow. If you're a cross-country skier, I can tell you where to go. Just get on an airplane and head northward. But we know that when it does get chilly around here, we call them the 6 little winters of Tennessee. And if we get cool and chilly in May, some will say it's the blackberry winter. You knew it would come back. And sometimes it does in the early to mid part of May. By the way, right now it's 6:52. I have a 62-degree reading coming out of McGee-Tyson right now. Winds southwest 10 miles an hour. Dew point at 43 degrees, and we have relative humidity at 50%. I got another note from Marilyn Bell as we look at the Valley Planner. High of 72 today. Expect normal high is 74? Yeah, 74. Morning showers, clouds to start. She's got a little note here. Marilyn says, what is the pollen issue today? Trees, grass, weeds. It's relatively high. It's always going to be pretty high for tree pollen this time of year. March, April, May. Usually corresponds tree pollen with severe weather season. But once we move into the middle part of May, May 15th to June 15th is typically grass pollen. That's usually the dominant feature. We don't really worry about ragweed until we get into August, especially Labor Day. That's how we round out the pollen season, typically with ragweed. Wanda says, I need to know the states. Send me some snow. Just want to be nice. We may need to have Amazon start shipping some of the snow from the Rockies to Wanda's house. That might work out well. If she's a fan. Maybe they do that. I don't know. Somebody might want to ship some snow in the direction of Miss Wanda Post. She's a big snow fan. By the way, it's 72 is my expectation today. That would put us 2 degrees cooler than yesterday. It is 6:53, and the precipitation chances for the next 7 days are on my screen there. You can see 40% today. I think 30% on Friday, thanks to the passage of a warm front. And then we're in the nice 80s for the weekend, it would appear, and then Tuesday, another round of showers, maybe some thunderstorms. But the big question is, who's going to receive the severe weather? Could it be a neighbor of yours? And you say, I don't mean like your next door neighbor. How about some neighboring states? How about maybe your family that might live in the Midwest? Because some of the areas in orange and yellow would suggest there's some very active weather. These areas today are concentrated in parts of Texas and Oklahoma. The yellow around Lubbock and Abilene would be scattered severe storms. Excuse me, if you're around Oklahoma City or Wichita Falls, they may get, or even Tulsa, some isolated severe storms today. But it may be amazing to see how this continues to grow, because look at the colors that have now been drawn by our friends at the Storm Prediction Center for tomorrow. So Thursday, things become enhanced. That's usually a good sign of wind damage. If it's not tornadoes, it could be straight line winds, but power outages may very commonly happen in these orange areas tomorrow in Texas, parts of Oklahoma and Kansas. The scattered severe storms would also include Oklahoma City and Wichita tomorrow. And you can see Dallas, Texas is the dark green. So that would be isolated severe storms on Thursday. Nothing going on here, and I'm not trying to advertise it here. It's all going to be in the Midwest, and it continues to grow there. So it's like the tree that falls in the forest. If we weren't there to see it, I guess it didn't happen. But all you have to do is check your free Captain Accurate weather app and say, yeah, it's happening, man. It's happening really bad in the Midwest. By Friday, it looks like this. Areas in Dallas, Fort Worth, Waco getting some scattered severe storms. San Antonio could be under some isolated severe storms on Friday. Kansas City, very active. Omaha, very active with scattered storms. And areas just west of Chicago. Illinois and St. Louis, some isolated severe storms. But it doesn't stop there, because Saturday, they've even brought this up to a 30%. They usually change, the Storm Prediction Center, will change their color coding when things get longer range. And for them, that's day 4, day 5, right through day 8. They do look out that far, but there's usually not a lot of predictability beyond day 4, 5, and 6. But when they do, they sound the alarm, and this is a pretty big deal. I would say Oklahoma City will be in the crosshairs for some really bad storms on Saturday, and that will be something we'll be watching on Sunday. It doesn't get much better. It does move east of Oklahoma City, but there will be at least a 15% chance of severe weather out there. So it's going to happen. While we enjoy the 80s, someone else is going to pay for it, and that paying for it will be the severe weather out to the west. There's no severe weather expected on Monday. So let me get you out the door. Futurecast looks like this. We've got rain in the forecast this morning. It's 6:56. I'll be done in 3 minutes, 4 minutes, or less. I do believe I can do it. Front comes through around midday, and then after midday, it's gone. The possibility of rain disappears dramatically as sun pops out, and so it goes. We finish around 72. Tonight, we're mostly clear. If we get a hint of fog, wouldn't surprise me by tomorrow morning, but otherwise, it's a mostly sunny day. The high clouds associated with that rain in red between Memphis and Jackson will begin to approach, so we'll see some of those cirrus clouds associated with that rain to the west as we head through Thursday afternoon. Warm front slices in on Friday, gives us about a 30% chance of rain, not a big deal. And on Friday's highs, we should be around 74. I don't expect rain on Saturday, but we'll revisit that later today, as most of what we see this week will come either today or on Friday. As far as our futurecast, notice the rain, trying to get out of here as early as 9:30 on this model around Sevierville, around Greenville, and perhaps around Athens and maybe around McMinn County or Monroe County. Heading into midday, the sun's already breaking out in places like Crossville, Wartburg, and Oneida, and maybe some scattered clouds for the rest of the day. But temperatures today, again, pretty close to normal. Normal high is 74. I expect we'll be around 72. By tonight, we're down to 45, lots of stars, and then heading into midday tomorrow should be around 67. We'll finish the day tomorrow, I think, around 75. That's my expectation for our Thursday afternoon. So our forecast air at 6:58, 72 degrees, some morning showers, 40% chance, clouds of sunshine, and winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. I got another note from you as we look at the forecast for today. Got that here. We can multitask. 72 Knoxville, 70 in Newport. I got a note from Carrie. She says, good morning. In Morristown this Saturday, in the mall parking lot, the DEA and Hamlin County Substance Abuse Coalition will be having their semi-annual drug take-back from 10 to 2. Thank you for the update, Carrie. I know people do read these comments. Marilyn was asking about the pollen, and Hallie Gibson saying good morning. She's got her cup of coffee. Glad to have Hallie here. She's also one of my premium Captain Accurate premium members. Glad to have all of you here as we head into your Wednesday morning. Temperatures around the state, if you're traveling today, should be around 75 for Nashville and Atlanta. If you're headed northbound, headed toward Lexington, they'll be in the upper 60s there, as well as Charleston, West Virginia. Tonight we're down to 45, mostly clear. It's cool, and I put a little hint of fog. I wouldn't even say it's patchy everywhere, but there's the hint. If you've got some rain today, you might get some fog tomorrow morning. Winds will be changing from northwest to northeast, about 3 to 8 miles per hour. How cool is it tonight? Because again, normal low is 51. This is a cooler night. This would put us about 6 degrees below average, and dare I say, some upper 30s in southeast Kentucky are on the table. Look at Middlesboro, 39 by tomorrow morning. It will be cool. relative to averages, but nothing off the chart, certainly not like it was earlier this week. And looking ahead to the Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast, you're at 6:59. I'm finishing right on time. 75 tomorrow. I've got us at 74 on Friday with some rain. But look at this, up and away, low to mid 80s. Are we spoiled? You know we are, especially when it lines right up on the weekend. That's why I was curious, what kind of events? Are you just mowing the lawn on a Saturday? Or maybe you're doing some yard work on a Monday, because Monday we're on 85. Sunday, 84. And then another round of showers and storms Tuesday. But again, we enjoy those nice low to mid 80s. And somebody out west, and specifically the Midwest, will pay for it, right? They're going to get all the forcing, all the showers and storms will be out there, while we bask in the warmth that comes up from the south and west, taking us into the 80s. Because again, normal high is 74. You can't get to 85 without a nice warm wind coming up from that direction. Anyway, by the way, if you haven't checked out the Captain Accurate Premium Service, I hope you'll consider it, because one of our focus points is to focus on things that are going beyond the next 7 days. It's one of the things we do on a regular basis, daily basis, even on weekends. We're talking about the weather going down the road. You're also the first to see every forecast I put out. That could be 30 minutes ahead of everybody else. Sometimes it's an hour or 2 hours before everybody else on weekends. You will get the first forecast view. If you join Captain Accurate Premium, you're also the first to see a Facebook Live on Sundays. They typically get, my premium members get a Facebook Live, typically on Sundays, to plan the week ahead. And if that's important to you, I would encourage you to join us or sample us. You also get fewer ads, but the premium service is on the same exact Facebook page that I post everywhere else. But you get 2 streams of information that come into the same page. And it's only 16 cents a day. That works out to $4.99 a month. That's a price of a cup of coffee for the whole month, and you can cancel at any time. Love to have you join us. Well, my name is David Aldridge. Some people call me Captain Accurate. It's not easy being accurate, so weather doesn't surprise you. Have a great day, and don't forget the umbrella. We'll see you here next time. Take care.